Another day in the books. I'm so glad that we got that floor done. I'm so glad you guys were able to join us with that. Wait, you guys didn't get to see it? Oh, well, I'm assuming that's probably something you do want to see, huh? All right, well, hang tight, because here it comes.
Alright, here we go. So we're starting this off with, once again, another procedure that you've seen in prior videos, and that's tearing out that perimeter support beam, and we're just getting rid of all of the rotten part, and now we got the new one already milled, sliding it in position and bolting it from the underside. I watched this in fast motion thinking to myself, my gosh, I really wish I could work that fast. So now here we are working on the load-bearing wall. This was definitely something that I was very anxious to get done, simply because I knew it was an important part of the task. So once again, I had to do it in sections. So as you can see off to the right of the screen, I have some support beams, and so what we were doing is we would support it on the outsides of the wall, and then removed some of the load-bearing wall, and then put some flooring down. And I just kept doing that process until the whole load-bearing wall was completely removed and all of the floor was then replaced under it. Once I accomplished that, then it was back to building the wall. Just for the nostalgia of the project, I did reuse some of the beams that were in the load-bearing wall originally, just to have a part of the history of the house inside the house, but some of the beams weren't worth saving, so I had to fabricate some new ones. Here I am getting them all square, true, and plumb. Alright. And now it's back to more flooring. This day was particularly challenging because Kim had to work, so I did not have my right-hand man with me, the brains of the operation plus my extra hands, so things like this were a bit challenging, but nevertheless, I got it done. Every once in a while, my main man Champ would come in and give me a big hand, so that was always nice. And it was not most of the time, it was always at the right moment too. It just was almost uncanny how sometimes he'd pop in and give me a hand. So this is another day. What you're seeing here is probably about 3 or 4 days worth of work. Not consecutively, but nevertheless 3 or 4 days worth of work. At this point, we have all of the perimeter support beam completely in, and we are working on putting some wood on the front end of the house. This last row of plywood was actually particularly hard, getting it into the tongue and groove of one part, then under the studs on one part, and then trying to get it to fit in between the perimeter support beam and the new piece of plywood, so it was definitely challenging. Alright, and as you can see at this point, we are continuing to put that extra support throughout the house. Little by little we have gotten that accomplished, and that's pretty much the gist of that.
Alright, so at this point we are removing this exhaust pipe and our washer drain. We're going to cut them below the subfloor so we can lay down the subfloor, and then when we're replacing our piping we can screw down or up through the subfloor, so that way it's one solid piece instead of having to piece it together. And you can see there's a drain over here as well that we're going to do the same thing to. We're just trying to get solid sheets down, and we plan to redo the plumbing either way, so therefore it's just easier.
Alright, so like Kim was saying, we do intend to replace the plumbing, obviously, so that way we can have kitchens and bathrooms. But the beauty of all of this is that all of the outgoing sewer, septic, all of the outward draining has already been replaced several years ago, so that's definitely a bonus for us. This is just some more supports going in. We actually built some frames around the toilet drains, so that way it gives it a little bit of extra support where there will be some weight bearing again. Adding a little cinematics with the slow-mo sawdust. Gotta love it. Yep, and there's the little boxes around the toilet drains. Alright, there's all of the extra support blocks all done. Now we will continue putting in more sheets of flooring. We love it when we get to check something off the list. Such a good feeling. And this is about the time in the project where Kim definitely gets to showcase her talents as far as her mathematical skills. So we are pulling measurements as to the center of the drain, and then we used a small template that was the exact same size, cut it out with a jigsaw. Sorry for the vibration.
I just wanted to take a quick moment and brag about my wife here for a second. So she's the one that pulled all the measurements from the edges of the pieces of plywood to get our holes cut out for our drain line for our toilets. I just want to say that is damn near close to perfect. I honestly am super impressed with that and the precision of these two holes here. Once again, our flange will just go on top of that, and then that'll be for the wax ring in the toilet. Definitely reminds me of when we made this cut here. I didn't film it, but I will drop in a photo of the beauty of this cut that notched out the door, and then the cut that made it shorter.
Alright, low key, I actually couldn't find that photo. My bad.
I was highly impressed with that, and she made it look extremely effortless. And so shout outs to my beautiful yet smart wife who's trying to beat the heat right now.
Florida. Oh, it's like 100 degrees right now.
Alright, enough of that. Let's get back to work. Just got a few more pieces of subfloor to put down, as you can see. This was definitely a great feeling. We were in a good rhythm, and we only had a few more to go, and that just hyped the energy, and it just kept us motivated. This was definitely a long time coming for us. Alright, so off screen we are cutting the sheet so that it fits in there. I do believe this was the last full sheet, and the next two are partials like we've done before in the past.
Alright guys, the moment that we've all been waiting for. Well, mostly Kim and I. The very last piece of plywood will be going down and our subfloor will be complete. I am so ecstatic about this step. High did. We killed it. We did that. Yes! Alright. It is official, guys. We are done with the subfloor. I am so excited. How you feeling?
Like, wow, it only took us, quite some time.
Oh my gosh, I just want to say kudos to your brain. You're awesome.
I'm
She
a math
rocks.
person.
She rocks.
It makes sense.
I'll read some crazy, like ridiculously books with like a lot of big words, but math is not my strong suit. But I just want to say shout out to you for that awesome brain of yours. I am so excited to have this part done. What about you?
Me too. And we have gotten to check 2 things off of the list.
2 things off the list.
But will they see both things in this video?
I don't know. You'll have to stay tuned.
But either way, we got
There's
2 things checked off.
There's a hint there and a hint. Oh, no. Not going to show you.
I was going to say, wait, oh, it is a hint. I didn't even get the hint.
All right, guys. Well, until next time, take care.
Bye.